Hey guys, welcome back. It is July 6th. I'm out here on my family farm and I'm on one of my small plots. I guess you can call it a kill plot. And it's about a third acre, um, roughly 50 to 60 yards long. At the widest point, it's about 25 yards, maybe 30 yards wide. I got the tractor running in the background. That's why I'm all the way down here. My goal today, as you can see, I've already killed this off once with some glyphosate, but I've had some smaller weeds come up in the rains we've had. So I'm going to turn this plot today. Wait about 2 weeks. That puts me in about the July 20th, 21st range. See if any weeds come back up, any of these dormant weed seeds. I'm gonna spray it one more time. And then from that point forward, any good rain I have about that first week of August, second week at the latest, I'll come out and I'll turn it again, then I'll plant. I'm in a small little pinch point between two hills on either side of me. I've got a real good trail right here from the neighbors. They don't really hunt at all, that they bed on, and then they come down into here a lot. Specifically with a west wind or predominant northwest wind, they're going to come out of there. So I have a stand that's back in this corner up here. So if anything comes west, I'm sort of blocked by that bluff. I can come in here. I do have, for a south wind or an east wind, excuse me, right up in those trees, I got like a 23-foot ladder stand. I had it for a few years. It paid off last year. I almost got to shoot a buck I was going after, but he stayed up on this hillside over here where I couldn't get a good shot. And actually halfway up the hill next to me, sorry, I keep moving the camera back and forth. Halfway up the hill is sort of the property line. Neighbor's been cool with it. He doesn't mind if I shoot, but I was trying to get him to come down to get on camera so a better view, but he never committed. And then I've got a trail right here that I created last year that goes all the way along the bank of the creek back there. I'm gonna plant that as well, sort of like some throw and grow stuff I have from a food plot seed, just to get more seed in the ground. So anyways, I'll keep you guys posted on the update. I got a couple other plots I gotta work on, but right now that's my goal. I've killed everything. I've had some weeds come back up, so I'm gonna turn it, give it 2 weeks, see whatever comes up, spray it one last time, turn it and plant it in the first week of August with my brassicas. So I'll keep you posted on my progress. All right, guys, here it is. Like I said, I got it all tilled up. Didn't take very long using the tractor. I got my camera right here. Right about there, you can't see it, is the trail coming down. Usually they cut across this, across the food plot, and they go right through that opening right there to the other side of my property. So anywho, give it about 2 weeks. If there's any weeds coming up from any dormant weed seeds, I'll spray it. And then that first week of August, I'll come out here, turn it one more time, and plant it. So just a quick little 360 view. There's a trail leading to the back of the property.
All right, just getting down to southern Iowa to the farm I'm going to be purchasing here shortly. It's, I believe, June 30th. We've been getting rain the last couple days, not a lot, but a little bit, and it is a godsend. We need it so bad. Have to have it. This is a must. Everything was super dry. Food plots were dormant, not growing, a million different things. But it's raining now, still sprinkling right now as I'm driving. But yeah, it's something special. So I'm gonna put out a couple cameras today, put out some mineral, and weed eat around one of my other cameras that's been getting some triggers. So yeah, I'm excited. There's one deer particular on this farm I call the 6x6 that we've had pictures of for 2 years. I elected not to hunt this farm late season due to the fact I was probably going to get an opportunity to kill him with my muzzleloader, and I thought he was just 1 year too young. So I hunted here once with my daughter, didn't see him, we quit hunting it. Hopefully he shows back up. I got one picture I think could possibly be him, but it's so early it's kind of hard to tell. So I'm getting ready to pull in the farm right now, and we'll see what's out there. Hopefully hopefully we get everything put up and then get these pictures rolling in soon. All right, just got to one corner of the farm. Put out a Wild Game Encounter 2.0 with a solar pack. This is a kind of a pinch point. So behind me is a cedar draw. The neighbor's piece is cedars. Right up behind me is the ag field. Well, this year, at least right now, it is wheat. It's gonna get combine here in the next month, I would guess. And it's all getting enrolled in CRP. But we are putting in 2 acres of food plot. One will be right here in this little ditch, right in the corner. And the other one's gonna be across where I had the plot last year, but instead of it being like 1.5 acres, it's only gonna be 1 acre. I broadcasted clover there this spring. There's definitely clover growing. I put alfalfa out there. So this year is kind of we're just gonna make it work sort of thing. All the fields are gonna be drilled grass, so there's not gonna be any cover here this year. It's gonna be rough, but there's still good spots to hunt, and it's an investment, and in the next couple years it's going to be well worth it. So I brought this camera in over here. It's kind of a pinch point. There's a pond right up over the hill, and I had a camera that I had mounted to that cedar tree last year. Well, I kind of took my battery weed eater in here, trimmed this down a lot, and this is one of the places I got the 6x6 last year. In velvet and hardhorn. A lot of the deer seem to bed up in the cattle yard, down this other draw on this other piece, and then they went through into the ag. Might be very different this year with no ag, but we're gonna make it work. So got this thing all turned on, gonna finish loading up the backpack, and then we're heading across to the other area where I have a cell camera right now. Gonna weed eat around it, put out a little bit of the feed, see if we can't get a couple of these bucks in closer to get a better look at them. So follow me over there and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, made it over here to the food plot. When I got over here, there was 3 or 4 mature turkeys, and ended up being a whole bunch of poults. I would assume for more than one hatch, because there was like 15 poults that kind of took off and flew up into the trees and went to the other side of the ravine. But this is my Fusion X that I've had out here for a couple weeks, and I was starting to get some tall weeds growing up. This is going to be my food plot. This is where we had the beans last year and the brassicas. Unfortunately, I don't want to get out here with my 4-wheeler or anything to mow until they harvest all that wheat, because getting a 4-wheeler out here, you'd knock it all down, and I don't want to make the farmer upset. So, but clover looks really good. I mean, you can see there's a ton of clover right here. We've gotten rain the last 2 days, which is awesome. And yeah, this spot's going to be absolutely fantastic in years to come. Like I said at the other spot, I don't know what it's all going to entail this year with not having much food, at least as far as grain goes. But there's going to be a 1 acre food plot right here. I think eventually I'm gonna have part of it clover, part of it ag, and then I'll put in brassicas overseeded. But right over this ridge where you can see that tree right there is kind of leaning over, that's where I'm gonna put my hawk box blind, or that's the plan at least. On a 10-foot tower, you can see the remnants of my Softside 360 way up over the hill. That's getting moved to the other side, just the platform. I'm going to put something else on top of the platform. But this way I can sneak in along the fence or along the ditch right here, get into the tower blind, and be able to cover all this. That's the plan. Next year I'm going to do some sort of, miscanthus, some, big tall Egyptian wheat, something right there to cover up the blind for years to come. But it's all a process. This is, like I said, the farm that my buddy Nick owns, and knock on wood, everything's lining up to buy it here in the next couple months. So I'm just getting some more cameras out, gonna throw out a little bit of feed right here, see if we can't suck in these deer a little bit closer to the camera, because for some reason they like to get out here in the middle and not be along the edge. So I'm gonna put that out, then we got to double back along and I got a spot I'm going to put out some mineral and put out one of the brand new Deceptors. So we'll get out there and see what it looks like. Well, got the brand new Deceptor out. Pretty excited to get pictures on this thing, but came back to the old mineral site, refreshed it, put out a couple little apple blocks, weed eated all around it, and had some pretty good deer on here last year. I pulled the camera right before October and moved it somewhere else. Well, I think I'm going to leave it up here all year long because this is kind of a funnel where they like to cruise through, and I'll cover all this stuff up before season starts, so that won't be a big issue at all. So I got one more thing I want to do, and I'll explain it when I get to it. It's not very far away, so see you there. Okay, well, we just made it back to my hidden, secluded clover plot. Not a ton of clover here, but it's in the middle of this probably 2-acre cedar thicket. There's a big ditch right there, and I got a 2-man ladder stand right there. What makes this spot so awesome is there's actually the neighbor has a tall fence for his livestock that's in there, and it acts as a funnel. So a lot of the deer and stuff will either go right along that, or they'll come in through here alongside this creek. And last year I came in here with a chainsaw and completely took out, I don't know, 40 cedar trees. And I threw out some clover. There's some clover growing. There's a lot of other random stuff in here. But the problem with this spot is there's no way to get any equipment. There is, no matter where you come, there's 2 huge ditches. So that's something, after I buy this, I'm gonna have to figure something out, because I want to have access to this part of the farm, whether it's getting some telephone poles and putting them across a gap and then making a bridge for a 4-wheeler, or even walking access is the big deal. But if I could get a 4-wheeler across it, that would be absolutely perfect. So for now, I'm gonna have to use my weed eater, knock all this down, and then I'm gonna put out some of this Boss Buck Fatal Funnel. Clover and chicory, with it being as dry as it has been, I think that might be the ticket. It's a little bit late to plant it. I'll probably come in here when I do my brassica plots and just overseed a bunch of turnips and radishes in here. But I made this rope scrape here last year and had 2 mature bucks on it last year. That the big 6x6 was here a lot in daylight. I think he beds within a couple hundred yards and he'd funnel through. So I never once hunted that stand. That stand's been hunted like 1 time in 3 years. So when it gets a little bit closer, I'm gonna go in there, trim it all out. It's actually really, really good. Might need to cut the tops of some of them cedars off, but I can pretty much shoot this entire little kill plot. So we'll see, but this is kind of what it looks like before. And I'll show you what it looks like after. Well, there you have it. You don't always have to have a bunch of equipment or access to tractors or mowers and tillers and all that stuff. Sometimes you just got to do what you can do, and I can get this back here, so that's what I just did. Besides cleaning up a few of this multiflora rows with the machete, I'm ready to put seed down on the ground. So I'm going to do that real fast, and then I'll get out of here. All right, well, got done seeding everything that, and then I topped it with alfalfa. I know it's almost July and I'm planting it, but the ground's got a lot of moisture in it right now. It's got coverage with all this stuff I just weed eated down, and if we get another rain or two in the next week, this stuff should really take off. So I don't know what the soil's like here. I mean, it's probably pretty crappy with all the cedars that have been in here, but I'm gonna do what I can to make this an awesome kill plot. And I have a feeling I'm gonna be sitting right there in that big game ladder stand more than a few times this fall. So thanks for following along. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. This stuff's a lot of fun, a little bit different than us. And if you haven't seen by now, Outdoor X Media is starting a podcast. That's in the works. If it already hasn't started by the time this drops, it's going to be coming out very, very soon. So